Good morning. It is early, and I've been going to bed earlier, like at 8, and then I wake up at 3. I didn't get up until 4 though. Oh yeah, there's my basket behind there. Okay, so these are paintings that were I think Eli gave them to me. Well, I know Eli, but I don't know if he just let me use them. I think he was going to throw them away. He got them from his grandfather. I think they're pretty good. They're real paintings. They're not prints. It's pretty good. Anywho, how is everyone? Okay, two people saw my video that I made yesterday, and it was 18 minutes. Okay, I'm reading a true story. It's her life story, and she's sharing it. And the first page had her. I lost the first page. It might be. I just have to look for it. It might be at the bottom of the basket that I was in. Okay. That chair that I have over there, I got to put all those clothes away. I can make my room beautiful in I need to dust right now. But pretty fast. I'm a pretty fast cleaner. Well, I did clean houses for a living for a while. I've always been a worker. So it's just kind of, I'm glad I got a little bit of, I really didn't get a break because I was always taking care of this house. Because every year it got inspected. And it always passed. I think one time it didn't because it needed some work. But it's all different now since Jim's in heaven now. He's in peace. Rest in peace. Because this world right now is chaotic. Okay? And people are getting out of California. And I eventually will, I guess. But it's hard when I grew up here. Anywho, I'm going to read that story. It made me cry last time. And then I went down Pandora's box, mine. And I said a bunch of stuff that I've shared in the past. But I'm sorry for the two people that had to endure that. But the story that I'm reading that triggered me to go down my Pandora box is interesting. And it's about abuse in the organization, jw.org organization. So I kind of understand, here, let's put it on this one. What mountain is this? Why a lot of these ex-Jehovah's Witnesses are angry at Jehovah. They're angry at Jehovah. I've never been angry at Jehovah. Even when I told them, yeah, whatever. I'm just saying. And people would tell me that, Gloria, even when you were, wordly, you always talked about Jehovah. Because I do love him and his creation. And I enjoy working with my hands. I thank God for the way he built us to work. It's awesome. And it's good for our hearts and everything. Even if you're an artist and you sit a lot, that's still, you're working with your hands and you're creating, which is awesome. There's so I'm going to read a little bit more of this. I'm not going to cry this time. I just haven't read this story. It was going around in our congregation because there's a lot of child abuse, sexual child abuse, and the angry fathers that want to control their family, and they're the domineering one, and a A lot of them abuse their power. And it just made me remember my husband, why do I get with these abusive guys? I married him too. Got married too. I wasn't too young, but he was. To tell you the truth, I think he just wanted to have sex. That's it. And then I healed him. I got him to not drink as much because he was a family man and he worked construction, and I got him on protein powders and stuff. I was totally helping him. Forgot about myself. I'm codependent. I was. And I'm realizing that's not working for me. I can't. I got to work on myself. I might have to go back to therapy. But and just because you cry doesn't mean you need therapy, okay? We're human beings. What did they just want us to be numb? But so I'm going to read this book, and that was just the introduction. Okay? Because I think this could help people. She says some good stuff. This is page 3. I like this when she talks about I grew up in South Florida where long days at the beach she's a writer, okay? And she's a Jehovah's Witness sister. Okay? She's a woman. Okay? An older woman. Okay? I don't even know if she's still alive. She used to live near the beach, safe, walking under the palms. I love palm trees. In the grassy area near the beach is safe for bare feet. But then she went. One day I forgot and ran toward the water, heedless of my unprotected soles. When I realized I was being burned, I stopped, hopping on alternate feet to look back and decide whether I would endure less pain dashing back to the grass or racing head to the ocean. Since the reason I had come to the beach was to get in the water, I rushed on, and in moments I immersed my burned feet in the soothing seawater. You can burn your feet there. You should wear thongs. The problem with life is sometimes the same. To go ahead is painful. To go back is painful. To stand still is intolerable. We have to remember that we came to the beach to get in the water. We came to life to live it in order to plunge on ahead. Who are the people for whom life is so painful that a real danger exists that may decide not to live it? I don't know them all, but I know some of them, and I qualified to write about them because I am one of them. We are adults who were hurt as children and are still hurting. I am writing this to help you. Our friends and spiritual shepherds recognize some patterns of behavior and personality that identify us and provide some insight into the moral and spiritual problems we face. This may help you feel more confident in dealing with us. So one elder, himself a victim of sexual abuse, commented that Satan was the first child molester. Satan picked the youngest and the most vulnerable of Jehovah's family to seduce. The resulting corruption of Eve's character, including the guilt reaction, set the patterns for all future child abusers and molesters. Sexual abuse of children, by no means new, is surely the crime of the time of the end. Yeah. Through this activity, Satan accomplishes several goals. Sexual abuse may implant within victim a tendency toward immorality, must move compelling than that which follows naturally from inherited sin. Our abuse as a children have damaged our self-identity, self-esteem. We feel like we have no control over our lives. We do in reality engage in and out of control behaviors, compulsions, and out of control thinking obsessions. I went through that in my 20s. Our lack of self-control is closely related to our feelings of not knowing who we are. Yeah, because we're always pleasing people and keeping secrets. I was molested. I've said this in the past. I don't think about it all day long. And I'm not a oh, poor me, poor me. But it does screw you up a little bit, okay? It does. And you feel guilty, and it's not even your fault, okay? One out of control thinking and behavior produces guilt. The guilt reinforces our negative self-image and out of control feelings. See, I did in my 20s. I would obsess over relationships. Downward spirals may send us into a moral and spiritual tailspin from which recovery is difficult and painful. Our lack of self-esteem makes it difficult to follow the command to love your neighbor as yourself. How attractive to me are people who operate from a center of health and self-assurance. I wonder what it would be like to love my neighbor as I loved myself. I actually love my neighbors. So I can't, and I always have, and I've always had good relationships with my neighbors, except when someone hates God, okay? Or I lived by this gang member. She moved into the complex that I was living in, and she was evil and abusive to her kids. So I got in an argument with her. That's the only time I argue, with when I feel like threatened by them. Because me and him, my neighbor here, I've gotten into it, but he was drunk. So, I mean, that's just normal. I don't hate on him. And if I did, I said I would help him. So, anyways, and actually, I was taking care of my neighbor, and I could have bought her house probably, but I knew Brian wanted the house. See how stupid I am? Because she loved me. She called me her sauna. She was old. She was 82 or something. But I knew Brian grew up here, so I knew Brian wanted to buy it. So I gave my job to them, to my neighbors, to take care of Marilyn. Marilyn was getting too much. She was drinking too much. And she had to go into a rehab, and she was 80 years old. Okay. And no, I wasn't drinking with her. So I don't drink with anyone. Anywho, where's my glasses? Okay, I'm reading this without my glasses. So now I'm on page 4. See, there's one part around here I just made me break down and cry. But I got control over it. I wasn't like boo-hooing. And it's okay. I like people when they're we learn from emotions. Okay? Good ones, bad ones, what we don't like. One guy, because I was crying. Okay, let me go back to the story. Our interpersonal relationships are affected by our unclear self-identity, low self-esteem. Okay, I already read that, I think. Oh, and our relationship with God, okay, is also affected. Until recently, I held the delusion that I would hide part of myself from Jehovah. See, I knew Jehovah saw everything I did, good and bad. So I don't agree. I never tried. I know. Yeah, I don't know why she thought she can hide that. I was sure that if I revealed myself completely, Jehovah would hate me as much as I hated myself. That's sad. She must have got abused way worse than me. See, I was tricked with candy and money, and I was only 5. And so, okay. He was nice to me, okay? And that's what my therapist said. You're lucky, because some people get really abused, okay? I was sure that if I revealed myself completely, Jehovah would hate. Oh, what despair lay behind these thoughts. So I maintained my delusion in spite of the clear intellectual knowledge that Jehovah knew everything about me, knew me better than I knew myself. Oh. Okay, one thing we're good at is mental gymnastics. We are good at thinking one thing while feeling another, perceiving one thing while believing another. Of all the previous benefits, being in therapy and recovery have brought me so far, the breaking down of the barriers to freeness of speech in prayer is the one of the most I treasure. Sexual abuse produces in the victim a profound sense of shame. Yeah, that's like, when a dog you're correcting a dog and they feel shame and they're cowering down and stuff. That's sad. Okay, maybe this is the part that made me. This is a compelled fact that on a physical level, some forms of abuse are pleasurable to the victim. Youngsters who have, that's what he knew how to, it's sad. Youngsters who have a healthy childhood naturally experience a coming alive of sexual feelings in adolescence. But for some of us, those sensations were overwhelmingly major feelings in our childhood. Even with mature, loving parental guidance, young men and women find their awakening to sexuality confusing and hard to handle. Yet they have had 13 or 14 or so years to develop coping mechanisms such as self-control, communication skills, delayed gratification, etc. What skills does an infant or a young child possess to cope with the intensity of sexual feelings? Little or none. At the same time, the abuse itself retards the development of other emotions and qualities of the characters and personality. Yeah. Since the abuser is usually close to the victim, many of our abusers were family members. Mine was a neighbor, family, friend. Issues of trust are brought into play. Parents represent all good to the child. They provide food, love, and security. They are all powerful, all knowing, and all right. Our very survival depended on believing in our parents. When our parents were abusive, we did not attribute bad to them. We attributed bad to ourselves. We the negative self internalized, that's what a negative self-image. Once we had done that, we experienced to be hurt. We believed we deserved whatever pain came our way. And if the pain did not come to us, we would go. It's 18 minutes. Particularly in the case of girls abused by their fathers. A pattern of victimized setup. Until released through therapy, some of us, time and again, choose relationships with abusive men. We believe in our core that we deserve the abuse. Oh. In fact, the abuse feels like love. Oh, God. We may appear foolishly gullible. We are armor planted. We trust no one. What? I don't even get that. She's a sister in the congregation. She went to therapy. I thought she was maybe she is a therapist. Because I think, because I haven't read this since I was with Tim. And that was 30 years ago. I divorced him when I was in my 30s. Yeah. So, that's why when I read it, I got flooded with memories. Okay. And I don't have my glasses, you guys. Okay. Okay, here we go. We are not attracted to nice men. We go for ones who are addicted, abusive. That's what I did. Or violent. And our radar is so sensitive that we have little trouble finding men like this within the Christian congregation. Yep, that's what I did. A relationship with a man like that lets us relive and thereby needs someone with whom true intimacy is impossible because we do not trust enough to be vulnerable. That is me. Okay. We are angry. Yeah, that is me. Some of us repress our anger and turn it inward. It may be, I don't know that word, verge. Let me see if I can get. I don't know what that word is. For what? Ever. Okay, enough to destroy our immune system and kill us by a disease. See, I knew that anger. That's why I let it out. I yell out. I yell in my room sometimes. Well, they say go kick a pillow in your room or hit a pillow when you're angry. Don't hold it in. And even my therapist said, Gloria, maybe you should start kick job because I was getting hit. I was being just all. I think it was tell you the truth. The pan spirit because I wasn't praying. Okay, I was reacting, and all the guys that I've been around. We deny our anger because to feel our anger is dangerous. Yeah. In order to feel our anger, we have to believe we are deserving of better treatment. Okay. In order to feel our anger, we have to believe that we are deserving of better treatment. If we come to believe that woman we are now deserves better, then we must believe that the child we were also deserve better. This logically leads to the conclusion that daddy was the one who was wrong or bad. It may be less painful to continue to be abused by our husbands or boyfriends than to face up to what daddy was. Our dad left at 4 when I was 4, so he did. He was hot tempered. He was a hardworking man. At one time, he owned 3 houses. Okay. Okay. But he was also fun, and he was a good provider. That's what I remember of him. And he was a really good gardener. But he was hot-tempered. But it was like natural feelings. He got jealous of my mom. Okay. And then he cheated. Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh. Anyways. Okay, the service. Okay. This serves Satan's plan. Oh, well, because he inhibits our development of a relationship with our Heavenly Father. I never related to Jehovah as a father. As God, Lord, Sovereign Creator, yes, but as Father, no. I did not trust Jehovah. I'm still working on this. This is not the same faith. I have strong faith. The problem lies in trusting Jehovah with my feelings. Oh, wow. So the end result of abuse is adults who function in many ways like children. We are unable to be known to ourselves or to others. We cannot freely approach the throne of undeserved kindness if we have strong tendencies to engage in destructive behaviors. We are trained to be victims, perfect targets for Satan. What is abuse? Abuse takes many forms. All parents mistreat their children sometimes. That comes with imperfection. What damages a child is a pattern of family life where the child's emotional need for unconditional love is generally unmet. This can occur without overt physical or sexual abuse in a dysfunctional family. Anyone who grew up in a family with an addicted parent grew up in a dysfunctional family. But sexual abuse is such an overpowering violation of selfhood that just one incident may have tragic consequences. Rather than over dramatizing, many victims minimize the incident, and many who were abused do not recognize that what happened was abusive, even when they fully recollect it. People who suffer from shame, low self-esteem, lack of self-identity, and compulsive, obsessive behaviors were victims of abuse, whether they recall it or not. Okay, that's 5. I'm going to stop, you guys, because it's already 30 minutes. And I don't know if it makes any sense. It's interesting, though. She has a lot of truth in this. And I know holding it in hurts. Holding in anger hurts. And confusion. I remember being angry and confused and shame, having all those feelings and keeping it a secret. I don't know. I don't remember if he threatened, if I told anyone. I don't, but I did finally remember where it first happened. And I ran home, and my mom was burning weeds. And she looked at me and she's like, "What's wrong?" She knew something was wrong with me. And I lied. Okay. And I wanted to be just like my mom. So that just kind of screwed me up. So I'm going to finish reading this. I hope everyone has a good day. Sorry, I repeated it. This is what I read yesterday. But I started crying. But I don't feel like crying today. I'm much happier today. And the sun, it's only like 6:30, you guys. I'm drinking coffee. I hope everyone has a good day. I have to plan my day. This was that's my to-do list. That's my old to-do list. I gotta do a new one. I was just thinking of Nez, because she does her painting. Nez Love. She paints. And I'm working in my garden every day. Oh, it's so fun. Oh, and I had my first peas. Oh my, so much better than the store-bought. That's exciting. Still some plants are extremely small. They're not even growing. They're like stunted. And I know the world's horrible right now. And the children are under attack. Take the fires. There's already fires starting here in California. And they want to put a new bullet train. So it's convenient for these fires to, make way for the bullet train. I don't know if this land is in the trail, because they have it from New York to San Francisco, or New York to Oregon, or something like that. Well, probably all over. Florida, just down a bullet train. Wow. I don't know if I would go. I don't like going fast anymore. I used to. I do not. I used to go on those roller coasters and stuff. Santa Cruz is fun, you guys. The boardwalk is awesome. And then also, I was thinking about checking out some places in, what is that place called? I can't even believe because I was saying it all morning long, and I just, well, maybe I shouldn't say it, because I know it. That word comes out. Maybe I am going to end up living there, but I'm going to be hiding. But I'm checking out some complexes over there, because I'm not going to stay up here forever. It's a lot of work. My son, I would like my son Eli and his woman and his little boy to move up here, but I don't know. So they can take over. It's a lot of work. Okay. Propane, garbage, water. I mean, because the water runs out all the time. It's doing pretty good right now. Okay, it's 30 minutes, way too long. Have a great day, you guys. I don't know what I'm going to call this. I don't know. I get more views when I say ex Jehovah's Witnesses, because I want this is a Jehovah's. She was a Jehovah's Witness, the woman who wrote this, and she was abused, and she wrote this for the elders to know how to identify personality traits, people that are struggling spiritually, instead of marking them. Oh, they're bad association. They have issues, and they need some tender, loving care, understanding. So this whole letter. It's a little book. I'll look for the beginning because I know it says her name and everything. And she even does like a workshop, what to do, dealing with your anger because of child abuse. And she even talks about rageaholic fathers in the congregation. And Kim and Mikey, Kim said she had one of those fathers. And it affects her. She doesn't, maybe she read this because she said she can't think of Jehovah. I love them. I unsubscribed to someone else because they were just talking too bad about Jehovah. I'm like, I can't listen to that because I was praying, Jehovah, I'm getting confused. People are messing up your name. And then I went to Raphael, my friend, and he hadn't made a video for it because he loves Jehovah, and he is not a Jehovah's Witness. He loves, and he's Hebrew, okay? And he comes from the tribe he talks about it. It's from a certain tribe. And he hadn't made a video for 3 weeks because I always go to him because he talks about Jehovah. He praises Jehovah. He's actually taught me how to pray better, using more words and praising him, giving him all glory, not look at me. Oh, no, he doesn't do that. I showed him yesterday on my video because after I prayed for him, 15 minutes later, he made a video. I was like, what's wrong with him? Is something happening to him? And he made a beautiful video about Jehovah's name. Okay? And then I went and checked on it again, and Kim said the same thing. Kim, his good friend. She said, I was praying for you. He's a brother, okay? And I love him too. He's a brother. Like I love my own brother. Okay? It's a brother. It's because he loves Jehovah. That's the only reason. He has a cute personality. And he's funny in his own way. Yeah. So, but I'm praying for, I don't know Jake and Wally that well. They're in their early 30s. And they're ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. And I watched them because they review the jw.org. But sometimes they drink a lot, and not so much Jake and it's their guests, Jake and Wally. Not so much them. I haven't been watching them long enough. But they do make fun of the organization a little bit too much for me. Because I've been mocked by you-know-who. Robin's Hood. He is a great mocker. I think that's his job. Maybe that's one of his gifts. Anywho, I'll talk to you later. Sorry about the length. Bye.